What's up? It's your boy Chuckles here, back at it again. This week we're taking a look at the one and only ASG Scorpion EVO 3A1 BET Carbine. Oh yeah. Now this is from a special request from a friend of mine, random guy Kev. Go check him out. He's on Instagram, YouTube. He's really cool. Posts a lot of good content, so go check him out. Lots of gameplay. But other than that, this is actually a product that I personally just picked up, and I've had a lot of customers kind of ask me personally. They're like, why'd you get, the EVO carbine? So this video is just going to be an overview. We're going to go over a lot of the good, not really too much bad, honestly. But EVO carbine has a lot to offer. Right away, just by picking it up, you really feel the solid build design. There's not really anything that wobbles except for maybe the charging handle ever so slightly. But everything else, it's a really high quality. The polymer is just really nice. It's really solid and it feels durable. Like it could definitely take a beating. Whatever you or some 10-year-old kid or some 40-year-old guy can beat on this thing will definitely be able to keep up. Now starting from the front end, moving our way back, you have the suppressor, which the inner barrel actually goes pretty much almost to the end. So it's really good that you have that long of an, I believe it's 400mm long inner barrel, which is really nice. That's better than what you get with a standard M4. It does have the orange tip included. You can literally just heat it up, or you don't even really have to, just grip it, pull it out. It uses a standard SMG barrel actually, so the thread is positive. So you need to turn it counterclockwise in order to remove it. Moving back, you have the M-LOK rail, you have the standard 3, 6, and 9 o'clock rail slots for M-LOK on the bottom. The 6 o'clock position, it really goes all the way back. So you have a lot of versatility. You want to run a really large angle grip, you want to run a grip, you want to run whatever you want, you have the room for it. And on the sides, any accessories you want to run. Me personally, I run just a flashlight. I don't really need much personally. But you have a lot of space that you can kind of work with. And still, like, there's no give or anything on the rail system. Like on a polymer rail, you'd expect some give, but this is so solid. Moving back a little bit, you have the charging handle. Now this can be swapped to either side. You can pull it back, put it up, knock it down, but it won't go like a standard HK slap. You need to hit the bolt release here in order to do that. Normally it has more of a clack, but there's still a battery in here, so. But it's really solid. Really nice. It allows you to access the hopup, which you can see here, which is kind of the one gripe that a lot of people have, is because they don't have tiny fingers. But I mean, I'm fat fingers and I can still go in and adjust it with my hands. But you can also use an Allen key. You could really get that dialed in. I've seen people make some pretty crazy shots. Watch House Gamers, he like ran .4s in his stock SMG. So go check that out. Then you have the sling point up here, which can be reversed to the other side when you remove the barrel, which removes the entire front end. So that's pretty cool. So lefties get a little love too, which is nice. This is pretty much lefty friendly. You have the move back. Obviously you see in nice big letters and in the body, CZ Scorpion EVO 3A1. Very nicely done, and you can see CZ marks, everywhere from the grip to here. You see the M-LOK logo, designed in the Czech Republic. All of these trademarks that you'd usually find on a higher end gun are here, which is nice. You kind of want that realism factor in that look. Moving on down, you have the magwell. The magwell actually has a little bit of a flare built in. Really nice. Makes it easier in those sticky situations for you to seat that magazine very properly. Clicks in very clearly. There's no real wobble, very slight. So better than an M4. You've got that. The magazines are, most of the stock magazines are 75 round mid caps. These guys are pretty nice. You can get the 375 round high caps, so they call it their fat mag. So you can just wind, but you do not have that feature. That's super cool with this is the mechanical stop. The gun is firing now, but it has the stop when you have the empty magazine detection. I plug in this empty magazine, and now the gun is not firing. So then in a combat situation, I would have to pop in a fresh mag, hit the bolt release, pull out the mag, put it in there, and then it'll fire again. So that's a really cool feature. Definitely caught me off guard in my first game or two. I had to kind of get used to that. The magazine release is ambidextrous, so it's on either side. It's pretty much where your finger would rest, so it's not really uncomfortable for you to either do it with your index finger or even with your thumb under your non-dominant hand. You can do either, and it'll do a really solid job. Going back a bit, you have the trigger. Now it uses the very similar to an ETU, so it's a micro switch. So it works a lot better. You don't have contacts that can wear out over time. For the most part, it's really solid. The fire selector, so you have semi, 3-round burst, and full auto. So I'll shoot in semi again, so you can hear 3-round burst. That's very satisfactory. Like the 3-round burst is very clean, and then full auto, this thing rips. And then move back. Stock is cool. You have 3 positions with the stock. Extends, goes in. You have some adjustments so you can adjust how far it goes in, and a button on the left side to make the stock fold in. It'll click into place. It won't really click into place, but it goes in there. But that thing will not come off in a situation if you're in a vehicle or if you need to transport it. This is how it'll come in the box. So that's pretty neat. And then you just pull it off, pull it down a little bit, and then go. If it doesn't lock into place, however, it will have a mind of its own. So you have to be careful with that. So then we're going to keep it brief internally. It does have a really nice MOSFET. I believe it's the ASCU. So what you do when you plug in your battery, and it'll take a second for it to register, but you'll hear a beep. If you hear 1 beep, the battery's good to go. And the gun is ready. If you have 2 beeps, the battery's dead and you need to put in a new one. Another cool feature, it has a low voltage cutoff, so it detects that your battery is low, it'll stop firing and it'll beep once or twice, just to let you know that that's happening, so then you can plug in a new one. But if you unplug it, plug in that dead battery, you will drain it, so you'll mess up the low voltage. So don't do that. But that's a really cool feature. So you have a MOSFET. They recommend using it 11.1. That's what we have hooked up in this thing. Might as well just run the 11.1. It does have a Type 4 barrel as well, so you get better groupings the further out you get. The hop up in these is really nice. You could really easily reach out 100, 150 feet with 2/8 or something, like very easily. The number one complaint you will have with the Scorpion EVO is the battery space. Even as it is on the SMG, the space is essentially the same. It's right up here. ASG makes an 11.1 specifically for this purpose, but if you're nifty, like me and some of the other folks that come here, you can get a split type 11.1. One of the cells goes right on the top where the hop-up kind of is, and the other goes up the front. So after the chrono test, we saw probably the most consistent I've ever seen a stock airsoft gun perform. The FPS was 359.4. like several times in a row, which blew my mind. And then it was shot about 1,200 rounds a minute, so it's 20 rounds a second. Oh my god. And like that still was 359.4. So in its stock configuration, you won't be able to use it indoors. Perfect for outdoors. You can even bump it up a little bit more. With the quick change spring, it's no problem. I personally bought the M95 spring. They make specific springs for the EVO, just because the size is a little bit different. But I have an M95, it shoots 260 to 280 FPS, and it does just fine. Like, especially indoors, you won't really notice the difference. The heavier BBUs, it's gonna be really nice because you have a really nice hop-up and everything in here. So my final thoughts on this thing, I mean, I already bought the thing, so I already have my final thoughts. But out of all the guns on the market I've seen, I thought that the Evo carbine was probably one of the best options for me for what I need. I need a solid outdoors and indoors gun that can change really quickly. I don't want to have to worry. I want a high-end gun, a gun I don't have to put any money into to upgrade it, which you can because it uses standard version 2 gearbox parts, so gears, pistons, whatever. All that stuff is standard, so you can change out your motor, you can change out your whatever you feel like you would need to. But what's the point? If you're buying a high-end gun like this, you want a gun you're just gonna pick up, and it's gonna work every time you pick it up, and it's gonna run like a dream. And I've never had an AEG work this nicely, so I'm always blown away. It also includes a 1-year warranty that's serviced by ASG. They do a really good job servicing warranty, so you definitely got to make sure that you check it out. But I'm so glad I bought this. 10 out of 10 would buy it again. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you go like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us here, like this video, comment on what your opinion is. Is this hot or is it not? Say, give me a yeah if you like it, or nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All yas. All yas out here. If you would ever run this thing, because it has my seal of approval. I have joined the nation of people that love the CZ Scorpion, but there's so many good things about it that it's just a no-brainer. If you're looking for a high-end gun you don't want to have to worry about, this is the one. With all those really nice features, you'd have to spend hundreds of dollars on a really new and nice MOSFET to get. Other than that, thank you guys so much. It's been your boy Chuckles here, and we'll see you next time